Hello beautiful people, welcome to Kanyiri Grows. So today I'm just gonna do a quick video. I would like to show you what's happening. Obviously now you know we are in winter. It's very cold here in UK, and at the moment there isn't a lot happening in my kitchen garden outside, and so there isn't much to show you at the moment, but I wanted to show you this thing. So I decided to bring in some plants inside the house to just try and save them from the cold, because at one point we were below 0 degrees and it was frozen, the soil was frozen, and I was really just worried about the plants. And there are some plants I really wanted to save. I didn't want to lose them or maybe get damaged with the harsh weather outside, so I brought them inside and I would like to show you how they're doing. And I'm quite surprised with some, and I'm also disappointed with some plants, so please stay tuned to see how everything looks. So guys, welcome to my little corner kitchen garden. This is very tiny, but this is just for trying out to see which plants can actually do well inside the house. As you know, in winter inside the house it's a bit warm because we have our heaters on, and it's a bit humid inside. So I was pretty worried that some plants will not do well, they will die. And so we're gonna start with this mint. As you can see here, these are mint plants that I actually took them out from outside. It was frozen, like the soil was frozen when I saved I salvaged it. The soil was frozen when I went to get this particular plant from outside. So what I did is just I cut all the branches, everything down to nothing. It was that dead. Nothing was growing. Nothing was there. Most of them were just like that. All the leaves were gone. So I just decided, because I looked at the roots and the roots were looking pretty strong, and so I decided to bring it in and give it a second chance in here, see how it's been doing. And now it's been around 10 days of them being in the house. And first of all, I just want to mention that I'm using this SF300. This is the SF300 Spider Farmer grow light. This grow light has been amazing, and I really like it because it's very small. It can just fit in a little corner. If you don't have enough space to grow your things, or you're just starting out, you can start out with this little grow light. Is about maybe 60 centimeters in length from here to here, and from here to here is about 6 inches on the other side for the width. So it is very tiny, but it is very powerful. It has all the lights similar to the sun, which is like the full spectrum. So it is doing a pretty good job, to be honest. I'm really happy with that. So back to this mint. As you can see, these mint leaves, that's how they were. That's how they were when I brought them in. All them. There was nothing like, now you can see we have tiny leaves coming out. These are the tiny leaves coming out. And it's only been 10 days in here. It's only been 10 days inside and under this grow light. So I'm very hopeful, I'm optimistic. I know it's going to do well here. As you know guys, mint leaves, they grow pretty fast, and also it has it can be very aggressive. So I know it's gonna fill up all this space. The whole tub is gonna be full of mint leaves, even though I just put in a few roots. I just saved a few roots from outside. I have a lot of mint leaves outside, and I didn't want to lose this particular one because I was worried of the frost. The soil was very hard because of the ice and the cold, and I didn't want to lose all the roots and get them damaged. And this particular mint leaf, this is the black peppermint, and I really love it. I love the smell. It has a sweet smell, and I didn't want to lose it. That's why I brought it inside, and I'm very happy that it's actually doing pretty well. So we move on to another type of mint. As you can see, this mint is is looking lovely at the moment, is looking gorgeous. This mint leaf was this particular one was the very first one that I saved from outside. This came in maybe a month ago inside. It was outside and it wasn't looking very well. This is spearmint. Oh, the smell is so gorgeous. It's lovely. And I also like it so much. So this was the first one that I brought in to just see if it will do well under the grow light and inside the house, despite the house being pretty warm and also humid. So it is doing well, and it has really grown, because all this was not there. It was tiny leaves, as of course in winter outside the mint leaves doesn't do well, but it is doing well. I have managed to pick a few leaves from it and make a salad. So I'm gonna move on to this. Oh, I just love, guys. I know I've told you a lot about maggot. This is the maggot plant, and if you don't know a lot about maggot is sort of like a woodworm as well. Woodworm, maggots, they are in the same family of worts, and it's really easy to grow, guys. These worts, they're very easy to grow, and this one in particular, this maggot, it has a lot of benefits, and most people use it for, if you're having if you want to enhance your dreams, make your dreams more vivid, and sometimes it's this sort of plant that when you dry it and make like tea leaves out of it. When you dry it, you can dry it whichever way you want to dry it. I normally dry mine in my halogen oven. I have a video of how I dry my leaves, my mint leaves, if I want to make dry leaves for tea. So if you drink it, it has what can I call it? Calming, soothing. Yeah, it gives you a calming and soothing feel and mood to it, and especially if you drink it in the evening or at night just before you go to bed, and you're the sort of person who dreams a lot. If you get dreams a lot and in the morning you wake up and maybe perhaps you can't remember your dream, this is a plant I would ask you to try, because what maggot does is it makes your dreams last longer, like they're more clear, and you can actually see them. You can almost visualize everything. Even when you wake up, you can it's like your dream was very clear. It was in 3D, you see. So I like to drink it to just help me sleep as well. If you have insomnia, it's also a good plant. And the other thing you can also use this maggot for, this maggot is also very nice when you mix it in with your scrambled eggs. Oh, this is delicious. I mean, it just takes the flavor and the taste to another level for your eggs. I like to use this, mix it in with some green spring onions, the bunching onions, and mixing with these for my eggs. And oh, it's so delicious, guys. You should try it. So what happened, this maggot wasn't even there. It didn't exist, because when I went outside and I looked at my maggot plant, it was completely gone. There was no leaves. The leaves were getting too small. Because of winter, the weather has changed. It was doing very well in summer, and it grows very first. And the thing is, it's very aggressive, same like the mint leaf. It can grow very first, so it's good. I would advise, if you want to grow this, grow it in a container, in a tub. That way you're able to control how fast or how much it's great, because it can just be invasive. It's an invasive plant. It doesn't like to be grown with other plants, because obviously the roots will just go and invade and try and take nutrients from the other plants. So I would recommend, if you want to grow this, grow it in a tub, similar to mint leaves. If you want to grow your mint leaves, it's always advisable to grow them in containers and tubs, because they are invasive plants. These are plants that will just go and interfere with other roots from your other plants, and maybe deprive them of their nutrients. So I love this. And when I took it out from outside, let's go back how it was doing outside in the harsh weather. It wasn't doing well at all. Obviously, most plants, they don't do well in those kind of conditions. Even though I tried to put it inside my one of my greenhouses. If you watch one of my videos I did recently about a greenhouse that I bought, and I put in some plants there to see if they're going to be doing well. But the thing is, you have to keep it closed, because it's pretty cold outside. It's below degrees, is 0 degrees and below. So you have to close that greenhouse so that it can be airtight. But the fact that you're closing it is also making it a bit humid, and the plants are not getting that, I don't know, the air is not very conducive for it to grow. So it didn't grow. I will go outside and I will show you some of the plants, how they look at the moment. So this is just how they're looking now inside, and we can compare the ones inside and how the others are doing outside, because I do have some mints outside. I do have some maggots still in the shed, not in the shed, but in the greenhouse. And you will see it for yourself. You will be the judge. And so this is, I'm really pleased. When I brought it in, I just brought in a few roots. Actually, it didn't have leaves. The leaves were so tiny you couldn't see them. So basically, I just brought a few roots. It was like 3 or 5, or maybe 3 or 4 roots. And look at it now. This has just been a month. I brought it in the same time as this mint, and this has been a month, and it's doing spectacular. It's doing very, very well. So once it's nice and full and a lot, I'll just I like to cut it all at once. I don't pick. I like to cut it all at once, dry it, and store it in a container. So another plant that I decided to bring in is this. These are these are garlic. These are garlic, and I brought them in. In fact, what happened is I just found them still struggling to. They were really trying, to be honest. This was the only thing that was really doing much better than the others, because as you know, guys, bunching onions, they do well in cold environment. They actually sometimes even thrive in cold environment, but still I could see that they're struggling because the weather was getting now below. I didn't want to bring them in because I knew that they could take in a bit colder weather than most plants, but I wanted to also experience how they do when they're inside, to see if they're going to continue growing. And I also really, I just felt sorry for them. These ones, I felt sorry for them. And what I can say, when I brought them in, they weren't this tall, they weren't this much, they weren't looking this healthy. They had really slim, tiny, and a bit, let me just show you. You can see some of them were like that. So I was very sympathetic, and I just decided to bring them in, even though I know that if I'd left them out, they would probably survived, because onions are very strong and they can withstand the cold weather. Not sure if they can withstand frost and snow, but they can withstand cold weather. So another plant I decided to bring, which, guys, I've spoken about this plant over summertime, and you saw, if you go back around the summertime in July, in one of my videos, I talked about this. This is the Vietnamese mint, guys. This is you wouldn't believe it. Yeah, this is the Vietnamese mint, which I love. This, I told you, the Vietnamese mint is obviously it's from Vietnam. They love to grow it over there, but you can find it in other places too. I have found a Vietnamese mint growing along the pavements. Can you believe, here in UK? But the difference is the ones growing along the pavements, they don't have that oh, that nice spicy smell. I don't know, maybe it's just the variety, but it doesn't have that nice smell at all. I wouldn't even advise you to go, like harvesting from the pavement and cooking with it, because you don't know whether it's a variety that doesn't, it's not meant to be cooked, or it's not an edible variety, but it is also a Vietnamese mint. So as you can see clearly, the Vietnamese mint is not doing well. Look at that. I just touched it and it just came off. Just came off. It's like the roots are not even holding strong enough. And when I brought it in, it was actually in a better condition than it is right now. It was looking a little bit healthier. It had more leaves when I brought it in. So I thought maybe and then immediately after like 2 days, I realized that it was getting dry. And I thought it was because of my light. Maybe it was a bit strong for it. But when you research more about Vietnamese mint, it likes damp. It likes damp conditions. It likes to be in an environment a bit wet, but not cold. So I tried to rescue it from outside because it wasn't doing as well as it was doing in summer. In summertime, the weather was warm, but I kept on watering it on a daily basis. This is a plant that loves water. It thrives well in wet wet soil. So I was watering it every day, but the weather was nice and warm, so it was just working its way. It was like a busy plant, just continually using up that water to sustain itself on an everyday. It needed it on an everyday basis. So it was doing well in summer. It was doing well in summer, and in my mind, I thought that if I bring it inside, or if I left it outside, sorry, if I left it outside in winter, it will still continue to do well because it's wet. I don't even have to water it. But I realized that it needed that warmth. It needed a bit of warmth. So I brought some of them inside. I just uh, brought in some roots and I planted them in a little pot. And when I brought it inside, oh, things went the opposite direction. Things got even worse. So this is how it looks. I will show you outside. I will take you outside and show you how some of it is doing outside. It's not doing any different from this. Well, everything is not doing any different. No, everything is not doing well at the moment, as I've said, because obviously we are in winter, and today it's 6 degrees Celsius outside. So this is how the Vietnamese mint is. Vietnamese mint, I use it also in cooking, and I love to put it in different kind of dishes, in curries, in eggs, in soups. This I use it in a replacement of coriander, because this is similar to a coriander. If you love coriander, some people are not very fond of coriander, but if you're a coriander lover, you will love this because it is more the flavor is more of the coriander, but a little bit spicy, or maybe with a bit of pepperiness in it, but it smells divine. So I'm gonna also show you another plant, which this almost this I had my heartbeat in my hands, like I was holding my heart to just help this plant to survive. you know I didn't want it to die at all, because of the struggles I've had with it, and also because I have sentimental value attached to it. I was given this plant as a present, as a birthday present. Okay, some of you may not know what I'm talking about because you can only see, you don't understand because you can only see the branches and you don't know what the hell is she talking about. So this is a lemon tree. Yeah, this is a mini lemon tree. Mini lemon tree, that's right. So I think you might see in one of the videos as well, when I'm giving my small tour guide in my garden, I showed you my little lemon tree. At that time it had like 4 lemons actually growing on it, and luckily I was able to actually harvest the 4 lemons before the winter kicked in. the lemons were, oh my God, the lemons were so organic, so juicy. I mean, it was not like the normal lemons that we buy on the, in the supermarkets. And it was a lemon in a different class of its own. Obviously, when you grow your own, you know what's going in it, and it's even tastes much better. So back to this lemon, what happened is when I left it outside and the weather started becoming more and more, you know, cold, and I started getting worried. I took it inside the greenhouse and I was monitoring it, and I realized, oh, the leaves are falling off. The leaves are falling off the lemon. And I was thinking, oh, maybe it's just behaving like normal, how the other plants behave. I have flowers that in at the end of autumn, I actually just cut them down, take off all the leaves, and in springtime it just comes back to life. In springtime, it's something like a hydrangea. I will cut it down in autumn, and when spring comes, it starts now blossoming, and it even grows much healthier, and with more flowers and more beautiful, flowers. And so I thought, okay, maybe it's just, shedding. It's in that time of shedding out, and then it will come back. But it just kept looking a bit not healthy. So I was so worried. Basically, what I did is I brought it inside. And the first day when I brought it in, the soil was hard, rock hard frozen. Like, it was rock hard frozen. So I didn't even water it in like 3-4 days. I didn't water it at all because I was so scared that I might make the I might make it overwet it and make it soggy, make the roots soggy and damage the roots. So I just left it. But I realized it was even now these leaves, the little that was left, they all fell off. And I was like, what? So I took it from this grow light. I took it away from the grow light. I put it somewhere where there was no light, just a little bit of normal light that we use in the house. Yes. And it was a bit warmer, and not much warmer, but just room temperature. So I put it there for some time, and I still couldn't see any change. So after a week, I decided to bring it back under the grow light. So this has happened. You see these little leaves? These are just like 4 days old. There was nothing on here. You can see, like, okay, this particular leaf just fell down, like just like 3 days ago. It fell down. This was the last leaf to fall over, and I think this will eventually fall as well. And these are coming out. These are new leaves. This is new growth, guys. This is new growth, as you can see there. See that? This is new growth, and you can see there's loads of new growth everywhere. There's another new growth here. There's new growth here. This is all new growth. And something else I've noticed, it's behaving similar to how the hydrangeas behave. They normally have new growth, and this is from the old stem. This is the old stem that had already had its leaves, and now it can't have any more leaves. So then the new growth, new stem comes out here, and the new leaves are going to come out from the new growth. So similar to the hydrangea, I think you should just prune this. You should prune this up to here. You take off the dead end, so that in spring this will be full of the leaves. You get more leaves, and obviously you will get more fruits with it as well. And I think it's going to do well. I'm still having assessing it and monitoring it. I think it's going to do well here because I have seen the signs. These are new leaves, those are new growth. So it's behaving how it would normally behave in springtime. In springtime, that's when the leaves start coming up. But because it's under this grow light, and this grow light is similar, it has full spectrum, is similar to the lights, the kind of light, and it's not actually even warm. It's very slightly warm. You can actually even touch it. There's no warmth at all. You know, it's not like most grow lights are, that when you can't even touch them because they are very hot. And you can see it has the red, blue, and different kind of lights, which are, that's why it's called the full spectrum, because that is what the plants need. As you know, the sunshine, if you try to look at the sun, if you're able to look at the sun, it normally has different kind of rays of light coming through. So this is doing well, and I think I'm actually speeding up its growth. It would have probably started doing this in around maybe March, April, but having this kind of growth around March, April, but having brought it here under this light, it's actually helped it speed up that process and its growth. So guys, I'm gonna show you the last plant, and this is very dear to me. This is very close to my heart because I love this particular plant. I have spoken to you about this so many times, and you guys know that I love eating it. I love it to eat. It is actually the reason why I started doing my home gardening, and because it's something that I grew up with, and we eat it regularly in my household, and I wanted to see how it will do inside the house. This is not usual. You don't normally bring this kind of plant in the house, and I just wanted to experiment and see how is this plant going to do inside the house, because it will be good if I can harvest. It will be good if I can still continue harvesting it, because I still need to continue, eating it and adding it to my diet. So guys, let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we are. These are my two kale plants. This is the panache, and this is the tontondine. So these two are perennial plants. That means what perennial means is they can have a lifetime of 2 years and above. Actually, this can grow even up to 5 years or 6 years. Some of them can grow even more than that. It just depends on where they're growing, the type of environment, the soil. Is it growing on just on the ground or in a pot? And they can actually grow very tall. This one in particular, this tontondale, it can actually grow to a height of 6 foot. Can you believe that? And 6 foot is like as tall as your door. Most doors are 6 foot. So it can grow quite tall. This is how it looks. It's beautiful, and I love eating this particular variety. Tontondine is delicious. Some may say that it's a bit tough, but if you're used to eating kale, it's no different, because this is a kale family. Tontondine is kale. This is a perennial kale plant. And as you can see, it's doing very well inside the house, and I'm so pleased that it's actually doing well, because I was skeptical. I mean, who grows kale indoors? It's unheard of, guys. It's unheard of. It's actually next to impossible to grow kale plants indoors. But because this is a tall tree, what actually made me bring it inside, it's because it doesn't occupy a big space. This is no different to a normal house plant. It looks beautiful on its, as it stands there. It looks excellent. Look at it. And I just love how it still maintained its color, green. As you can see, some leaves are not, they didn't develop very, into a normal shape, because when I took it out from outside, all the leaves had been eaten by the caterpillars, and also because of the weather, it was it wasn't growing very well. The leaves were not growing in the right shape that they're meant to grow in. But now, look at that leaf. It's nearly as big as, as my palm, but it will grow much bigger than that, because you have seen it in summer when I showed you. This plant was much bigger than this. It was looking lovely. And so I can say that I am not sure it's because I've put it very close to the light. As you can see, all my plants are just in this area where they can get a little bit of that full spectrum from they can get full spectrum from that spider farmer light. I'm not sure whether it's because of that, but then again, I'm thinking if that wasn't there, it wouldn't be able to photosynthesize, which is a process where the food can manufacture its own food, and it can be able to live and sustain itself. So I think it's playing a big, huge role. That light is helping my plants germinate and continue to to develop in the same way that they would develop in the outside, when if they were outside and with the right conditions. So, and as well, this one, it's still short. Well, it was a bit shorter even when it was outside. This is panache. I also love it so much. The leaves are getting much better. I will take you outside. I will show you similar plants, how they're doing, and you will be able to see exactly what I mean. That the light is helping and also bringing them inside, away from those harsh cold weather, is also helping them. And it is possible to actually, if you have a tree, this is almost, it's becoming now a tree. It's just that most people, they prefer to have just one long stem, and they'll be taking off these shoots as it grows. They take off these shoots, but I have kept my shoots, and as you can see, the shoots are also growing bigger, and I just like to see it this way, because I believe it becomes more secure and more stable. Because when I grow it in just one stem, and it will just be one long stem like that, which most of these tontondines do, I think it will be a little bit challenging, because I'm growing it in a pot. I'm not growing it in the ground, and it won't be able to support itself on just one stem. Same to this panache, which is also a perennial, and I love it. I think it looks very beautiful. It looks ornamental. The only thing I've realized is when it's inside here, it hasn't been able to show off its ornamental side of it, because normally it has a white color around its leaves. It has like different white and green, and it looks so beautiful. You can grow it as for ornamental feature in your garden, or you can grow it for food, because this is kale. And it's delicious. It is much softer than this tontondine, so most people may prefer this because it has a softer texture, and it won't take long time to cook or to even chew. So this is how it looks. Similar thing, I've left lots of shoots to grow, and I think it looks nice. It looks sort of like cactarish. I use that to support it. I might have to support it even more now that I've seen that it's actually doing well in the house. So I'm gonna leave these two plants here. I'm gonna leave them to stay in the house and see how they continue to grow and thrive in here. I believe it's working. Some plants are being favored by this environment, being in the house and being under this grow light. And the only plant that I can say didn't do well is this Vietnamese mint. This one didn't do well, and I might just decide to just take it back outside, because it seems like it's actually even doing worse than it was doing when it was outside. So Guys, this is it. I don't want to make this video longer than it already is. I will do another video just to show you the plants that are outside, how they're doing compared to these plants. So you can decide and know which plants you can actually bring inside, and you will be certain that they will grow as long as you have a grow light as good as this, and you have, you know, just the space where you can put them. So thank you guys for joining me today. I truly appreciate. I hope you have learned something from this video. So leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly do so, because I have a lot of things coming up. Because, you know, in the next coming months, I will start putting my seedlings down, my seeds, sorry, not seedlings, but, you know, putting the seeds down for different kind of plants and getting ready for this year's, you know, growing and planting season. Thank you guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. So from me to you is bye-bye.
Oh, 1 mile in fog patches and showers early Friday, but improving to greater than 6 miles on...